In our current lesson, we are learning about the principle of design balance. We've already gone over how to incorporate both symmetrical and asymmetrical balance into our designs. And for today's assignment, we're actually going to be creating a logo for a fictitious product of our choice. I want you guys to choose something that you enjoy, something that you like or that you will use in your everyday life. In my case, one thing that I enjoy, that I use or that I consume every day is coffee. So I'm going to be making a fictitious logo for a coffee shop. Let's go ahead and begin with our design. The first thing I want you to do is to grab a piece of paper and you are going to hold it horizontally and fold it in half like this. Next, we are going to be drawing only half of our design. So I want you to make sure that you don't draw on this side. You want to draw on the side that has the fold, so right there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some thick outlines. And the reason why I want you to do thicker outlines when you're making your drawing is because the purpose of this assignment is to use symmetrical balance. Therefore, we're only going to draw half of the drawing, only half of the design, and then we're going to fold the paper in the opposite direction, and we are going to transfer the lead of the pencil from one side of the paper onto the other. And that is what's going to give us a perfectly symmetrical drawing. Now, for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and speed up the process of the drawing. So here is the complete drawing. As you can see, I already have half of my design. And of course, now I want to complete the other half of my drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my paper in the opposite direction. So again, remember, we're going to transfer the lead of the pencil from one side of the paper onto the other. Okay, and this is how we're going to achieve that. All we have to do is grab our pencil and go ahead and start scratching on the paper. You can go over the areas where you know you have your pencil markings, as this is going to make it possible to transfer the lead of the pencil from one side of the paper to the other. Okay, so now that that's complete, now I'm going to unfold my paper and you can see how I have a perfectly symmetrical drawing. So both sides look the same. However, I don't want to use symmetrical balance. I want to use asymmetrical balance. So I'm going to have my drawing be a little bit different on both sides. So on this side, I'm going to have the arm laying down, maybe kind of like behind the body of my bear astronaut. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do with this arm. I'm going to stop there. I can always go back and make changes if I want to later on. On the other side, I want my bear to be holding a little coffee mug. So I'm going to start with a little oval shape, and then I'm going to make the body of my mug. And I'm going to continue with the arm. This is going to be part of the hand that's holding the mug. I'm going to go ahead and keep adding more detail to finish this little section right here. I am pretty satisfied with the way it's looking so far. Just going to add a little bit more detail and I'm almost done with this section of my drawing. Remember that I chose to make a logo for a coffee shop, fictitious coffee shop. I'm going to call it Cosmic Coffee. And since I'm doing a design about coffee, I want the coffee mug to be the focus point. I want the viewer's eyes to go straight to that coffee mug. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my design is balanced on both sides. So I'm adding a few little details here and there, like the little star right here. I'm actually going to add 3 little stars. So there's my second one and one more, just a little bit smaller, just to give it a nicer balance. To make sure that my design works well and it actually does what I intended it to do, which is to showcase the coffee, which is what's the most important part, right? Since I'm doing a logo on a coffee shop. And here is my final drawing. I'm pretty satisfied with the way it came out. Now all I have to do is transfer into a clean sheet of paper, but I'll be showing you how to do that on the next video.